Math Minutes with Majan Minds, where we're reviewing skills you need to know to find success in grade 12. Today's topic is factorizing. Now, factorizing is actually quite a large topic. I cannot discuss every possible instance. However, I've given you 4 unique examples here. The first one is pretty straightforward. What do they both have in common that I can divide out front? They both have a 3 in common. 6 and 15 both have a 3. When I divide a 3 out of 6x, it leaves me with a 2x. And when I divide a 3 out of 15, it leaves me with a 5. And notice that 2x and 5 have nothing in common now. So you should always check if you've factorized by opening the brackets to see that you get back to where you started. That would be a way to check your work. The second style is called the difference of squares. The subtraction of 2 perfect square numbers. Notice that 4x squared and 9 do not have anything in common like 6 and 15 have common. So in this situation, we are going to be dealing with, it's kind of like a special case, I guess you could say, where here we have a 2x and a 2x. Where did I get those 2x's? The square root of these perfect squares. So 4 square rooted is 2, and x squared square rooted is x. So that's where the 2x comes from. The same thing can be done with 9. It can be turned into 3 and 3. And then the only thing you need to remember with difference of squares is these symbols have to be opposites. And so this, if you would expand the brackets, which I would encourage you to do, take this 2x and give it to that 2x and that minus 3. Take this 3 and give it to that 2x and that minus 3. You expand all of that and you'll learn something and see that it produces this. Very common thing you need to be able to do in grade 12. Both of those are very common. In fact, all of these are common. Alright, so next we go to here, which is a basic trinomial. It's going to be similar to the difference of squares. However, we don't have perfect squares except for here in the front. So I'll put an x and an x because that's a perfect square. Now what I'm looking for are 2 numbers that will multiply to give me minus 20 and will also add to give me negative 8. So I'm going to make a list of these numbers down here. To get negative 20, I could use negative 1 and 20. I could use 1 and 20. I could use 2 and negative 10. I could use negative 2 and 10. Negative 4 and 5 and 4 and 5. Now, do any of these pairs add? They all multiply to give me negative 20. Do any of them add to give me minus 8? And if you look right in here, these 2 will add to give us minus 8. So we're going to put minus 10 and plus 2. And again, I would encourage you, expand these brackets and you will see that when you expand them, you're going to get this. All right, the last one is a perfect square. You might not understand exactly what I mean when I say that, but I want you to notice something here in that we have in the front an x squared. So I can put an x and an x. In the back, we have a 9. So I can put a 3 and a 3. In some ways, it's similar to this one. But now, if I put a plus and a plus in there, that's going to give me, when I expand it, over here, the opposite signs meant that the middle guys canceled out and just left me with a 4x and a minus 9 at the end. Here, I'm going to get an x squared, 3x, 3x, and 3x and 3x makes 6x, and then I'm going to get a plus 9. So the thing that's special about this one, the reason it's called a perfect square, is because it can be written like this. X plus 3 squared. Alright, so you have 4 different styles here. A basic binomial. This is a basic trinomial. And over here we have an example of a perfect square. Here we have the difference of squares. So you need to be able to work with all 4 of these different styles of factorizing. If you found this video useful, go ahead and subscribe in the top left, and then head on over to majanminds.com to check out more videos and resources.